Hey team, it has been a hot minute, but with all this crazy mortgage craziness, interest craziness, the world craziness going on, I needed to jump on and we need to just bosh out what is actually going on and what it actually means. So this video, we are going to discuss all things mortgages at the moment, what's going on, what does it mean, and how to get the best support in this time. Okay, so if you are like me and work in the property industry, then you will absolutely know the repercussions of what has gone on in the last week. Now, it's been crazy. No one expected it. So let's do a cheeky little recap of what has actually gone on and how has it affected things. Roll back a week. Our new Prime Minister changed the rules in the mini budget update that affected stamp duty. Brilliant. I think what they expected there was for the country to celebrate, the country to get behind them and be like, yeah, you've done a really good job here, because what it did mean, it was all really positive. They'd moved up the brands. So if you are buying a house, you have to pay less stamp duty, basically, which is obviously a really great thing. And with the stamp duty holiday, I think they saw this as a quick win because they saw how beneficial it was last time. I'm not knocking them because it is a great thing. You can't knock that. That wasn't the problem. What then followed was, I think, the next day, which kind of just took away from all the fabulous stamp duty announcements. This kind of took a shine off it all, because a couple of days later, the Bank of England said they were raising their interest rates by 0.5%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but causes absolute chaos in the mortgage industry. So the Bank of England announced this, and then the ripple effects really is where the issues started to occur. And especially in my industry, when I'm dealing with clients that are buying houses and going through transactions, that's where the real problems seem to happen. So when the Bank of England changed their interest rates, what that meant was then mortgage products, mortgage lenders then had to reassess their lending rates, because if the Bank of England's interest goes up, theirs will have to as well. Otherwise, they will risk losing a lot of money and their products will end up creating a loss for them as opposed to earning them money. So what they ended up doing was pulling all their products, so that I think there was 2,000 products absolutely wiped out that no one could then use. So I had clients looking for mortgage applications at the time, and they were declined. Now, when a client hears that, they think, oh my God, they panic. But the reality is, it's because all the lenders pulled all their products because they said, hang on, before we give any more lending out, we need to know that we are still going to be making money. And with the Bank of England changing their rates, it's highly likely we're going to have to too. So what they decided to do was, okay, I am not going to give anyone any more money until we've sorted this out, we've reassessed things, we've readjusted, and then we have new products that represent the new price inflation. So that's exactly what they did. They pulled all their products, and they're still pulled to this day. This was only a couple of days ago. And what they are doing now is reassessing and realigning with the actual current market. But what that means is that for anyone who is looking to get a mortgage or trying to get a mortgage offer through, if it wasn't already accepted, it's near impossible. Or if they can get a mortgage, it's at a silly rate that wouldn't be worth taking. We're in this kind of funny period. We've got no lending options, but rest assured, the mortgage lenders are working as quickly as possible to get us new mortgage lending out, because they want to lend us money. There's a lot of money there to lend. They just need to make sure that we're paying the right rates for it. So I have no fear that lending products will come back to the market. That's an absolute given. What I think will change is the rate of interest. Now, that is something that will affect things, especially for investors. If you use your money to buy a property, you want to get the very best return out of that. And unfortunately, with the rising inflation prices, it's probably going to mean that those mortgage rates are going to increase too. Now, I've heard some numbers that buy to let in an investment company is going to be around 8%. Complete speculation. I have no idea whether that's true or not, but I imagine it is going to keep going up probably until about mid next year, summer next year. This isn't going to be an overnight fix. It's definitely going to be a long-term problem, but it will resolve itself over time. What that does mean though, that if you are in this period now where you are needing a mortgage or you're going to buy, it's unfortunate really, because it means that your mortgage rates are probably going to go up. But what I need you to do is see this as a long-term goal, a long-term vision, because right now, when all these mortgages are going up and it's all getting scary, naturally, what people want to do is take a step back from property and they try and sell a lot. So in this next coming months, you're probably going to see some of the best property deals around, because the country is having a difficult time. And it comes back to that saying, do the things that others aren't doing to get the results others can't have. So when the market is like this, people tend to typically set back or try and sell because they're scared, it's uncertain, and they are unsure. But if you can become very, very confident in the fact that the market will bounce back, it always has bounced back, you can actually find incredible deals. What that does mean is that you're getting a mortgage in quite a difficult time, so rates will be high. We need to be prepared for that. But the incredible thing about that is that we know they will eventually come down, and that is when it pays. As I always say, property's a long-term game. So if you are in it for the long term, the next year with high interest rates of an extra couple of percent shouldn't really affect things for you. Taking that long-term approach is going to mitigate our risk. It's going to allow us to grab some great deals that we will be grateful for in years to come. Unless we can buy in cash right now, the mortgage rates are high. And it does mean that deals become a lot less profitable. But take that long-term approach. If we can secure one of the best deals now, in a couple of years' time, we can remortgage when that rate has come back down and everything is stabilised, and you will have secured an amazing deal too. So take a long-term approach. I don't want people to get scared and wrapped up in the here and now. What it does make it difficult for is if you are looking to get a mortgage right now, but you've got to remember, this is not permanent. This is short term. We may have to swallow it now, and in a couple of years' time things will relax. So I'm here to remind you, it seems difficult and it is a difficult time, but we will get over this 100%. It always has, in every single market, ups and downs. It always happens, but we always do come back to reality. So keep that in mind. That's the summary really. That's where we are with it. We are currently waiting for mortgage lenders to bring out their new products, which will reflect the changes. A lot of them are going to go to variable rates, which will mean that it's less risk for them basically, because if the Bank of England goes up, they will go up as well. So it's much less risky for them. It'll mitigate the risk, allow us to get a product, but what that does mean is that we're not in a secure fixed rate for an X amount of period, which is what a lot of the products used to be. So I imagine there's going to be a bit of a shift into variable rates, which means if the market goes up, so will our prices. So it means that we're taking on a little more risk, the lenders are taking on a little less risk. But at the end of the day, the mortgage industry, lenders, they have money to spend. If they aren't giving us money, they're not earning any money themselves. So it's in their best interest to do their best job for us, and we will navigate this tricky time. But if you need any help or any advice in this industry, in this market, I'd love to get some questions below and I can do a Q&A session. And I also have mortgage experts to hand with anything that gets a little bit technical and a little bit out of my reach. Hope that makes sense. I will catch you in the next video.